Here are some tricks for connecting the input and output cards in the PLC diagram. When you have multiple projects or multiple diagrams going on in the same project, so you have multiple input and output cards, and you want to connect to one of the input spots, say in 0 here, if you go to connect to that in 0 location, you'll see that there is multiple in 0 accounts. Now, to make it easier, one way to do this is to open up your input card itself, find the spot that you want to connect to, and give it something to distinguish it. So we'll call this exercise 6. You gotta make sure you hit enter. The other spot that I have connected is in 2. So I'll go to in 2 and I'll add to the title here to help me find those locations. Then when I go to this contact and I search for the alias in 0, I can see that the one that I renamed stands out, and I can then connect it. Now, if you notice here, E1-_6.ESAX6 is connected to this E1_6 input card. When I named this spot, I did in0.ex6, but if I change that to an underscore ex6 and hit enter, I now can see the full name in 0 to help me recognize that this contact is actually connected to the in 0 spot. So it's better to not use periods to distinguish the name here. The next spot I have is connected to the stop button, and that goes here to this examine if open contact. And now if I look for in 2, I can see that the exercise 6 in 2 spot will stand out immediately. That helps me find it. Now on the other side, we have these output coils, and I want to connect this output to the output card. Now I want to connect it to out 0. And when I brought it in here, like I bring in this one, it automatically asks me to name it. And it's natural to name it where you want it to go, like that. But now I have a lot of things that are named out 0 and multiple cards that are named out 0. Even if I go into this device and want to connect it to an out 0 spot, there is a lot of different out 0s in this project file. I can even go here to the output card, but I cannot rename this output spot. Every time I try, it goes back to the old name. So the trick here is to actually go into the device that you want. So I have out 0 here, and rename this device, because this one is the one that's transmitting a signal saying, or transmitting that variable name saying I'm available to trigger output somewhere, trigger action, just like this B3:0.ex6. When I named it that here, I was able to find it with this internal contact on the PLC. Now I go in here and I rename this one .ex6 so that I can find it. Then I come into the output card. Once I'm in the output card, I go to the spot that I want connected and I make sure it's highlighted. Here it's out 0. Then when I search for that out 0 spot, I see that there is a device that's transmitting the out 0.ex6 or exercise 6. So that helps me distinguish this component that I renamed inside the PLC here. Now, once I make this connection, the coil will take on the name that's in the output card, but the address will be correct because I know that I'm selecting the right component. So once I'm highlighted here on the left, I find the one that I've renamed to make it easier. I double click and it changes names, but they are connected. And I can see that down here at the bottom. Then when you play your device in the simulation mode, you always look for these green bars. So if I hold down the stop button, I can see green on the input card and green on the input contact. And then I see green at this coil and green on these coils. That means they are being connected correctly. Then I have output here, out 0 green, and I have my output card as green. If this was not connected, you would not see the green on both sides.